Today I am going to teach you History Chapter 2 from Trade to Territory. As the title denotes, this lesson talks about Britishers inventing in India, and when they first came into India, their sole purpose was trade. Actually, they had nothing to do with expanding their territory. But how all this started and now how they moved from trade to territory would be discussed in this class. Okay. So this all started with the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. Why? Because Aurangzeb was the last powerful Mughal Emperor. Okay. Do you know who was the first Mughal Emperor of India? Babur, isn't it? Okay. The last powerful Mughal Emperor was Aurangzeb, isn't it? See, he established control over a very large part of the territory that is now known as India. When the British came into India, their sole purpose was trade. Their sole purpose was trade. Yes. See, till Aurangzeb was alive, the Britishers were not at all involved in any internal and commercial affairs of the state other than their establishment of trade center. Why? Because Aurangzeb was a powerful ruler, so that they didn't involve in any internal affairs. Okay, but after the death of Aurangzeb, what happened? There was no efficient ruler, so that the company, the East India Company, was gaining power and strengthened its area. Then the British planned to use this opportunity to establish their power on land. Okay. See, after Aurangzeb's death in 1707, many Mughal governors, they were called Subedars, and big zamindars began asserting their authority and establishing regional kingdoms. So, powerful regional kingdoms emerged in various parts of India. So, Delhi lost its control over new kingdoms. Why? Because there was no powerful ruler who succeeded Aurangzeb. For example, small kingdoms, I tell you an example. Jhansi, Satara, Jaipur, Udaipur, Gwalior, then Chittoor, Mewar, Marwar, so many small kingdoms emerged during that time. Okay. See, Bahadur Shah Zafar was the last Mughal emperor. In fact, during the 1857 rebellion, he was a Mughal emperor. But after the suppression of the 1857 rebellion, Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar was exiled to Burma. So Mughal dynasty came to an end. Children, don't get confused. Who was the last powerful Mughal emperor? See, the Britishers did not come to India directly. Then how did they come? The Britishers got the British East India Company. Here, the British East India Company. It is also referred as English East India Company. Okay. So, EEC, the English East India Company, got royal charter from Queen Elizabeth I, the ruler of England, in 1600. So, in 1600, royal charter granted by whom? Queen Elizabeth I. According to this charter, no other companies from Britain can come and trade with the East. Why? Because as per the charter, English East India Company got sole right, means complete rights to trade with the East. Okay. Here, charter refers written permission. Okay. Even though many other companies were in Britain, they could not trade with the East. Why? Because this royal charter granted to East India Company granting the sole right to trade with the East, so that other companies could not trade with the East. So the English East India Company secured exclusive trading rights to trade with the East. Children, here East refers to the Asian continent. Why do we refer to the Asian continent as the East? Because England is located in Europe. You know very well, isn't it? But the Asian continent is located to the east of the European continent. Therefore, here the word East refers to the Asian continent. Okay. See, the Royal Charter, which was given by Queen Elizabeth I, the ruler of England, in the year 1600, was not applicable to other European countries. So even the French, Dutch, Danish, Portuguese also crossed the seas to trade with the East. So what are the other European powers came into the eastern markets? There, French, Dutch, Danish and Portuguese. Okay. See, generally mercantile trading companies. What do you mean by mercantile trading companies? A business. The word refers to a business enterprise that makes profit primarily through trade, buying goods cheap and selling them at higher prices. So, mercantile trading companies in those days made profit primarily by excluding competition. Yes, of course. See, if the competition is low, profit will be high, isn't it? Yes. So that mercantile trading companies in those days made profit primarily by excluding competition. Then, what attracted European powers to India? Why the Portuguese East India Company, the English East India Company, the Danish East India Company, the Dutch East India Company came into India? What attracted European powers to India? The fine qualities of cotton and silk produced in India had a big market in Europe. And not only that, pepper, cloves, cardamom and cinnamon also were in great demand. Okay. The problem was that all the European companies were interested in buying the same things. What were they? The fine qualities of cotton and silk produced in India, and also spices such as pepper, cloves, cardamom and cinnamon. Okay. Competition amongst the European companies inevitably pushed up the prices at which these goods could be purchased. And of course, what happened? And this reduced the profits that could be earned. So they thought that the European companies, the European East India companies thought that the only way the trading companies could flourish was by eliminating rival competitors. Okay. So what did they do? They regularly sank each other's ships, blockaded routes and prevented rival ships from moving with supplies of goods. So trade was carried on with arms and trading posts were protected through fortification. Do you know the meaning of fortification? Built forts. But because of the powerful naval force, British won over other European powers. Okay. Now let us discuss about the East India Company trade in Bengal. See, the first English factory was set up on the banks of river Hooghly in 1651. So, the first English factory was set up on the banks of river Hooghly in 1651. The river Hooghly flows in West Bengal. Okay. See, the trade expanded and the East India Company persuaded merchants and traders to come and settle near the factory. So the merchants and traders were forced to settle near the factory. And by 1696, it began building a fort around the settlement. So they built a fort around the settlement. It also bribed Mughal officials into giving the company zamindari rights over 3 villages. So the East India Company got zamindari rights over 3 villages. How did they get? They bribed Mughal officials. Then they got the zamindari rights over 3 villages. See, zamindari rights also referred as Diwani rights and collecting revenue rights. Okay. So, one of these was Calcutta, which later became the city of Calcutta or Kolkata as it is now called Kolkata, isn't it? And it also persuaded the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb to issue a forman granting the company the right to trade duty-free. See, what do you mean forman? Forman means a royal edict or royal order. This royal order is issued by whom? Aurangzeb. As per this forman, the company got duty-free from the trade. Okay, fine. Now, the officials of the company who were carrying on private trade were expected to pay duty. See, the company got tax-free, duty-free. But the company officials also started to do private trade. They also refused to pay duty. They refused to pay tax. So that what happened? After the death of Aurangzeb, the Bengal Nawabs Murshid Quli Khan, Alivardi Khan and Sirajud-Dowla one after another refused to grant concessions to the company. Then what did they do? They stopped the concessions to the British East India Company. Okay. Now I'll show you the picture of Murshid Quli Khan, Alivardi Khan and Sirajud-Dowla. Okay. Let us see what we have discussed so far. Okay. See, first we saw about the end of Mughal Empire, and Aurangzeb was the last powerful Mughal rulers. Then in 1707, after his death, many Mughal governors, Subadars and big zamindars established regional kingdoms, isn't it? Yes. Then we saw about the East India Company comes east. See, Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese explorer who had discovered the sea route to India in the year 1498. Where did they reach? First they reached at Calicut in Kerala, isn't it? Then the Portuguese were the first Europeans who came to India. So who came to India first? The Portuguese were the first European who came to India. And also they established their presence in the western coast of India and had their base in Goa. So Portuguese established their are based in Goa. And in 1600, the East India Company acquired a charter from the ruler of England. So the East India Company got a royal charter from the ruler of England, Queen Elizabeth I, isn't it? Then by early 17th century, the Dutch and the French also arrived on the scene. Then all the companies were interested in buying the same things such as cotton, silk, pepper, cloves, cardamom and cinnamon, which created competition and ultimately reduced the profits that could be earned, isn't it? Yes. In order to establish their power in the East, battles between the trading companies. Through the 17th and 18th centuries, they regularly sank each other's ships, blockaded routes, and prevented rival ships from moving the supplies of goods. Okay. Then we saw about the East India Company begins trade in Bengal. See, in 1651, the first English factory was set up on the banks of river Hooghly, and Aurangzeb issued a forman granting the company the right to trade duty free. Okay, what do you mean by forman? Forman means royal edict, royal order. Okay. Then we saw how did trade led to battles. See, after the death of Aurangzeb, the Bengal Nawabs asserted their power and autonomy. So the Nawabs of Bengal refused to grant the company concessions as it was making the revenue from Bengal trade less profitable. The British wanted the duties to be abolished, but Bengal Nawabs refused. So British officials knew the condition of administration in Bengal and tried their autonomy by use of force. So what happened? As a result of denial of trading rights, on 23rd June 1757, Battle of Plassey was fought. Okay, this Battle of the Battle of Plassey will be discussed in the next class. Okay, thank you.